A simple quarter dollar can be worth $17 million if it has these rare minting errors. Today, I'll explain the coin's history and the specific minting errors that can turn an ordinary quarter into a valuable treasure. So without wasting any time, let's start the video. The early 1980s were turbulent for the US economy. Inflation had surged, metal prices fluctuated, production adjustments were constant. At the same time, the United States Mint was transitioning through operational changes. In fact, 1982 and 1983 are notable because official uncirculated mint sets were not produced for collectors that year. That meant fewer pristine examples were saved at the time of issue. Most 1982 quarters went straight into circulation: cash registers, vending machines, arcade tokens, laundromats, and when coins are heavily circulated, high-grade survivors become rare decades later. But that's only part of the story. The Washington quarter design dates back to 1932, created by sculptor John Flanagan. By 1982, the design had already served the nation for 50 years. The metal composition had long shifted from silver to a clad structure, copper in the center, nickel on the outside. Imagine layers pressed tightly together under enormous pressure. Each coin is struck by hardened steel dies using tons of force. When alignment is perfect, the design appears sharp and centered. When something goes wrong, the error becomes permanent. And sometimes, priceless. Let's be realistic. Most 1982 quarters are worth face value. But in the rarest circumstances, when extreme mint errors combine with near-perfect preservation and confirmed uniqueness, valuations can escalate dramatically. One of the most dramatic possibilities involves a wrong plancher strike on a silver or experimental blank, combined with flawless condition and authentication. Here's how that could happen. Coins begin as blank metal discs called planchers. Each denomination has specific weight and metal requirements. If a leftover silver planchet, or a test metal blank, accidentally entered the press in 1982, the Washington quarter dies would strike it without knowing the difference. The machine simply stamps whatever is inside. The result? A 1982 quarter that technically should not exist in that metal composition. Now imagine that only one or two examples survived. Imagine one graded near MS-70 condition. Imagine elite collectors competing for ownership. In that situation, private market speculation and insurance-backed valuations could reach numbers as high as $17 million, especially if the coin is unique and historically documented. It's not common. It's not typical. But in numismatics, rarity defines reality. Now let's move from theory to practical inspection. You just found one in pocket change. What should you check? The edge. A standard clad quarter shows a visible copper stripe along the edge. If your 1982 quarter appears solid silver with no copper band, that's unusual. It could indicate a different metal composition. Normal weight, approximately 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs closer to 6.25 grams, that suggests silver composition. Even small differences matter. A digital scale can reveal this instantly. Double die errors occur during die creation, not during coin striking. When the die receives two impressions slightly misaligned, the final coins show visible doubling in specific areas. Check closely. Liberty. In God we trust. The date 1982. True doubling appears sharp and distinct, not blurred. If the coin design is shifted toward one side, it may have been struck off-center. If the rim appears wider than usual or lacks a defined border, it may be a broad strike, caused when the retaining collar fails during striking. Both errors increase value depending on severity and condition. You'll see a small letter under the date: P. Priester, Philadelphia; D. Pre. Denver; S. Trees, San Francisco. The mint mark shows where the coin was struck. On its own, it doesn't create massive value, but combined with rare errors, it helps identify production origin. Two rare error coins can exist. Only one might command millions. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS-70 appears flawless even under magnification. Since 1982 mint sets were not widely preserved, high-grade examples are scarcer than many surrounding years. Now combine. Wrong metal planchet. Rare error type. Near-perfect condition. Verified authenticity. That's when valuations approach extraordinary levels. Scarcity builds pressure. Condition multiplies it. Market demand ignites it. The 1982 quarter represents a transitional moment in modern coinage, economically and operationally. Most were used heavily and forgotten, but hidden among millions, a single mechanical anomaly can transform an ordinary quarter into a historic artifact. So before you drop that 1982 coin back into a jar or vending machine tray, give it a closer inspection. Check the edge, weigh it, study the lettering. Because sometimes, in the relentless rhythm of industrial production, a tiny imperfection creates something the world never expected. Most 1982 quarters remain worth 25 cents, but one extraordinary survivor could rewrite the record books.